I've had the Galaxy S9 Plus for about a week now, and if you're curious to know what my first impressions were, you can check the unboxing video because I'm going straight into the review. Hi, I'm Wale from Geek10G, and this is my review of Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Starting with the design, it's no longer news that this phone looks very similar to the Galaxy S8 Plus, except for the slightly reduced bezels around the top and the bottom. You probably won't even notice anyway. And the S9 Plus is slightly heavier than the S8 Plus, but then the difference is so little you may not even know. But one thing is clear, it feels different and I think the grip is better. The biggest change physically is the position of the fingerprint sensor, which everyone appreciates. Thankfully, there's no notch, and for those who can cope with just wireless audio, Samsung keeps the 3.5mm audio port for you. You've got to stand up for something, even if it means standing alone. Well done, Samsung. As far as the design goes, it's still the same beautiful design from last year. It's still water resistant with IP68 rating. I really like it, but it's still a fingerprint magnet, it's still fragile, and you still need a very good case. Coming to the display, we know no one does it better than Samsung. Vibrant colors, deep blacks, great viewing angles. It's even brighter than the display on the Galaxy S8 Plus, but personally, I think the saturation is just too much. That's the truth. But Samsung puts total control in your hands. I had to go to the display settings and switch from adaptive display to basic. The display now looks perfect. But still, some people may be okay with the adaptive display, but not me. You still have the same infinity display, adjustable display resolution, even though Full HD Plus is the sweet spot, blue light filter and everything else. Audio on the Galaxy S9 Plus is a lot better. Now you have surround sound with Dolby Atmos. You have stereo speakers tuned by AKG, one at the top and the other integrated with the earpiece. Manufacturers are starting to use this approach a lot. Over this past couple of months, I've seen the same implementation on the iPhone X, Xiaomi Mi Max 2 and now the Galaxy S9 Plus. It's sure louder than last year's Galaxy S8 Plus, and I think the quality is better. Unlike Google, unlike Apple, unlike HTC, unlike Essential, Samsung is keeping the 3.5mm audio port. When it comes to software, opinions can be very divided. While some people prefer Android in its purest form, it's way too crude and unrefined for some people. In my opinion, Samsung Experience 9.0 is beautiful, functional, loaded with features, and yeah, it's got some pretty useless gimmicks that shouldn't even be there. The new Samsung keyboard is awesome though. It's got almost everything you look for in third-party keyboards. Bixby is still here, and Samsung's effort to push this thing down our throat is not working. The annoying accidental Bixby launch isn't going away, and yes, I've disabled it already. But overall, I really like the user interface. Performance is quite excellent though, 6 gigs of RAM and an improved processor gotta count for something. This phone is quite unlike any Android phone I've ever used in terms of performance. My favorite game on mobile these days is World War Heroes, and it's quite enjoyable on this phone. RAM management is quite good and multitasking is fluid. I tried benchmarking this phone on Antutu and it scored the highest number of points I've ever seen on a smartphone. You may have heard a lot of people saying battery life on this phone sucks. This may be true. Battery life is not that great. I only get about 6 hours on screen time with moderate use. On most days, it's just around 4 or 5 hours. Always on display is kept turned off even though the battery usage is negligible. Resolution is always at Full HD Plus. Brightness is always minimal. The phone is always on Wi-Fi. The battery barely manages to get me through the day. A great battery life is definitely not one of the advantages this phone has. And yes, it's even worse on 4G. If you're a heavy user, you really need to walk around with your charger. When it comes to security, as always, Samsung gives you lots of options. You've got several ways to unlock your phone. You still have a standard fingerprint unlock, and registering your fingerprint is a lot easier on this phone. You only need to slowly wipe down your finger, down the sensor, and I see a lot of manufacturers copying this soon because it makes it so much easier for the user. The iris scanner is still here, you still have face unlock, and of course, you can use intelligent scan that combines both iris and face unlock. It's a good thing there are so many options. Now, everyone knows that AR emoji is Samsung's response to Apple's hand emoji. In a sort of way, it's fun to use. You get those personalized stickers and all, but you know it's really bad when you're trying to make an AR emoji video and it's all glitchy. Just like an emoji on the iPhone X, it's not a feature I see myself using that much. And that brings us to the camera. It's still the standard kind of photos you will expect from Samsung. Very bright, crystal clear, well-defined contrast, and the camera setup is definitely a step up from last year's Galaxy S8. 2 cameras at the back, one has a wide-angle lens with variable aperture that switches between f2.4 and f1.5, and the other is a telephoto lens with 2x optical zoom. Just like other phones with similar setup, you have a live focus mode that, gives you that depth of field effect people seem to love these days. Even though you have just a single camera at the front, you can as well take portrait selfies using the selfie focus mode. But then you may end up having your hair and hairs looking blurry. The rear camera automatically switches to f1.5 and low light, and that makes a big difference. Shots taken in low light really look stunning as more light comes in through the sensor. There's a pro mode which I really like to use. This mode even lets you choose the aperture manually depending on your need. For instance, you may decide to shoot at a wide aperture on a very fast shutter speed. Shooting super slow-mo videos at 960 frames per second is strangely satisfying. It's one of the best things I love about this phone. Even if you don't have much faith in DxO Mark rating, the camera on the Galaxy S9 Plus still performs great, and it's definitely one of the best on any smartphone right now. Now the question is this really a phone I would recommend, and is it worth an upgrade? My opinion right now is quite different from what it was when I unboxed this phone. If you have the Galaxy S8 Plus, maybe you should keep your money till next year. The difference is not compelling enough, except you really think you can't live without the improved camera. But then, if you're upgrading so you could take portrait photos with a dual camera, you can still do the same thing on the Galaxy S8 Plus unofficially using a modified version of Google Camera. If you're coming from an older phone like the Galaxy S7 or a totally different brand, the difference is pretty huge. It's definitely worth the money, and I would recommend it. Except for the battery life, which is not that great, this phone is close to perfect. That's my review of the Galaxy S9 Plus. If you're not a subscriber yet, I'm hoping you will hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe.